Ever wish you could take your sea monkeys with you wherever you went? Well, in 2002 you could, with Exploratoy's release of the Pet Pocket Playpen, a sea monkey kit which came with an ocean zoo tank and also a very special portable aquarium that had a built-in light and could conveniently fit in your pocket. Just what every kid needs, right? Now, since these have been discontinued for over 20 years, I had to pick mine up off eBay, and I managed to get this one for the low price of just $15. Quite a steal. From what I can remember, the seller listed a whole bunch of these at once, so I assume they must have found an old box of them lying around in storage. They clearly weren't aware of the value though, as today these would easily sell for $100 to $200 on the second-hand market. Those of you who are familiar with some of the older and more obscure sea monkey products will know that this isn't the first Pet. In fact, for that, we need to rewind all the way back to 1970, where a Pet product was listed for sale in the parts and supplies list of this sea monkey handbook, and it was sold for the low price of just $1. Part number 19, Pet Pocket Pen Aquarium. Take your sea monkey for a walk in this crystal aquarium pen with a chrome clip and leak-proof cap. Fits in your pocket or purse. Officially decorated with the hatching sea monkey emblem. Now your pets can go wherever you go. For fun, take them to a party. Watch the crowd gather as you make friends and enliven a dull event. Sounds more like a way to scare everybody off if you ask me. So the original Pet was really just a glass tube with a waterproof cap and metal clip to make it look somewhat like a pen. I've borrowed this one from Science illustrator and avid sea monkey collector Todd Machin, who kindly sent it to me for this video. It came in two colour variants, navy blue and red, and it was sold for at least 17 years, as this Pet was also sold in this blue version of the Sea Monkey Handbook from 1987, which was distributed by Larami in some of their Sea Monkey kits. Now, I did also have a look in this yellow Sea Monkey Handbook to see if it also mentions the Pet, and it does, but the description is quite different. In fact, it describes a different product entirely. Item number 19B, Pet Pocket Aquarium Playpen. Take up to 6 of your favourite pet sea monkeys out for a walk or to show off anytime, anywhere. A new, unique, one-of-a-kind pocket aquarium with a magnifier that runs on a track. It follows sea monkeys while they swim. An oversized plastic clip secures it to your belt or pocket. Always in the cover, give full overtime protection. I believe this is referring to not an actual Pet product, but rather to sea monkey companions. You see, when the license to produce and sell sea monkey kits shifted over to Exploratoy in 1996, they briefly sold a product called Sea Monkey Companions. It was originally a generic insect collecting device, which they repurposed and sold as a portable sea monkey carrier. This thing is pretty crappy and didn't sell very well, so they seldom come up for sale on the second-hand market. Again, Todd had to lend me this one from his collection because I've never been able to find one. And in almost every way, this is a poorly designed product for sea monkeys. The lid has some small holes for air circulation, which seems great until you turn it around and see that there's also a belt clip. Not a great combination of features, given that baby sea monkeys are small enough to fit through these small holes and could easily spill out when jostled around. It's clear that this was originally designed for terrestrial insects rather than aquatic animals. If you want to see a full, in-depth review of Sea Monkey Companions, I'll leave a link to John the Sea Monkey Dude's video down in the video description, as he's done a great job of covering it in a lot more detail than I have here. A few years after this Sea Monkey Companions rubbish, Exploratoy did come out with an actual Pet product, which they poured a lot more effort and care into, and that's the kit we'll be setting up and reviewing today. The packaging for this one is really nice, though its square shape is quite atypical for Exploratoy Sea Monkey kits. We have the amazing live Sea Monkeys Pet Pocket Playpen logo up top, with some travelling sea monkey illustrations around the sides. The nice large window cut out in the middle gives us a nice view of the contents inside. This kid is living out my dream by taking his sea monkeys to school on his backpack like that. That's one snazzy motherfucker. Over on the back we have a photo of the kit's contents and an explanation of the product with a guarantee that your sea monkeys will hatch in just 60 seconds. It's translated into both Spanish and French too for the international market. Alright, let's get this open to take a close look at everything inside. Apparently it was actually very rare to find this kit for sale on the second-hand market until this huge lot of them was discovered and then listed on eBay. It's been quite a while since I've seen any of them come up for sale too, so I assume its value has probably jumped up quite a bit in the last couple of years. So as always, we'll start off with the paperwork, and this kit comes with a fair bit. First up we have a generic brochure which you're likely familiar with, as it's been included in several Sea Monkey kits that I've reviewed on the channel in the past. Next up is another generic instruction sheet, this time with pictorial setup instructions that are listed in several languages. The third piece of paperwork is a little more interesting. The Perfect Procedures for Perfect Pets Handbook, an Exploratoy staple in the early 2000s. Since this is long out of print, I've scanned and uploaded a copy of it to archive.org for anybody who'd like to read through it. Next up is an Exploratoy Sea Monkey advertisement showing all of their kits. This really was the heyday for Sea Monkeys. I'm curious to know if you guys have any of these tanks. I think I have all of them except for the My First Pet Deluxe kit over here on the left, only because I'm not particularly interested in it, but I'm sure I'll pick one up someday to give you guys a look. And last but certainly not least is the instruction booklet for the light up Porta-Pet Pocket Playpen. I love when they make unique booklets like this, especially for the different sets, mostly just because I enjoy looking at the artwork. This one shows you how to transfer your pets from their Ocean Zoo aquarium into the Porta-Pet, which we'll be doing later in this video. Moving on to our aquarium accessories, and this kit comes with two. The double-ended yellow feeding spoon, which was standard at the time, and a bluish coloured aqua leash. These typically come in purple now, but they have been produced in various colours over the years. This one serves a dual purpose, both as a tank aerator and also a tool for picking up your sea monkeys and moving them into the Porta-Pet. Of course, this kit also comes with the 3 standard pouches: water purifier, instant live eggs, and growth food. I'm surprised to see that these are actually in decent condition given their age, but it's still pretty unlikely that many of the eggs in here are still viable. Regardless, I am going to try and hatch them, because I'm always just a little curious to see if they'll work. Next up we have the Ocean Zoo tank. It's fairly standard, but it's not too often you see a mismatched base and lid colour like this. I'm not sure what the purpose of this was, but it's not a bad colour combo. The kit on the cardboard tank insert has what is perhaps the coolest hat of all time. I don't think this ever actually existed though, which is a bit of a shame, because I'd love to have one. And finally we have the main event, the Sea Monkey Playpen. On the top end there's a little blue sea monkey character who's sitting atop what's essentially a plastic test tube which slots nicely into this base, allowing it to comfortably stand on a desk or shelf. Now while the playpen is pen shaped, you can't actually write with it, so calling it a playpen is really just a bit of a play on words. Now, to actually get your pets into it, you first have to pop the little blue character off the top, which gives you access down into the shaft where you can insert your sea monkeys using the aqua leash. Earlier I mentioned that this temporary housing lights up, and you do that using the tip of the little nipple at the end here, which acts as a button. Despite being over 20 years old, I'm not overly surprised that the light in here still works, as I had a similar experience when I reviewed my Sea Monkeys Penquarium, a very similar Exploratoy product that was sold separately. The main difference between the two being that the Penquarium was an actual pen that could write. Well, apparently anyway. The ink in mine seems to have been long dried up. Regardless, you can see the clear similarities between these two products. Alright, that's it for the unboxing. Let's get to the tank setup. Now as I mentioned, I will be using the original packets that came with this kit to see if I can get any of the old eggs to hatch. If it doesn't work out though, I'll just restart this tank in a week or so with a fresh starter kit, which is pretty much guaranteed to work every time. So usually with these kinds of videos, I like to give an in-depth review of the tank we're using, but since this is just a standard Ocean Zoo, a tank that I've reviewed in detail in the past, we'll be shifting our focus over to the Porta-Pet instead. And just as a bonus, we'll compare it to the original glass version from 1970 as well. So all of my other windowsills are full with other tanks at the moment, so these lucky sea monkeys are going to be kept in my bathroom. I'll get these guys set up in here with a heater and airline, and check back in with you in a month or two once the colony is fully established so we can put them into the 2 Porta-Pets. I'll let you know if these old eggs manage to hatch too. As always, there'll be a link in the video description to these important tank accessories for anybody who needs them for their own setups at home. Alright, I'll see you in a few weeks, or like 2 seconds from your perspective. Hey guys, the Porta-Pet sea monkeys have finally reached adulthood, and even though their tank is a little gunky, all of them are looking very sprightly. I haven't actually been using the grow light or heater in here for a while now because the weather's been so warm and sunny, which is also why the algae in here is a little out of control. As for the sea monkeys, there's now a decent number, but I actually only managed to hatch about 5 from those old eggs. So what you're now looking at is both the first and second generation for this colony. Generally speaking, I would call 5 hatchlings a really poor hatch rate, but given the age of the eggs we used, it's actually not too bad. Now, even though this is just a pretty standard Ocean Zoo tank, the colour is really growing on me these last few weeks. The blue and yellow combo complement each other nicely, and these old Exploratoy tanks used a really nice clear plastic. I know that's a bit of an odd point to make, but the modern Ocean Zoos from Dragon Eye have a slight purple tinge to them, and the plastic's not quite as crystal clear as these older ones. And don't worry, I still have a passionate disdain for those annoying magnifying bubbles. Anyway, let's move on to what you're all here to see, the Porta-Pet Pocket Playpen. While the modern instructions don't give a recommendation for the number of sea monkeys to put in here, the picture on the back of the box shows 12 sea monkeys swimming in the Porta-Pet, so we're going to put in a similar amount. The process here is pretty simple, but it can be tricky. Remove the blue sea monkey stopper from the top, and then carefully transfer your pets over from the Ocean Zoo tank using the included aqua leash. Honestly, this is a bit of a nerve-wracking process. I'm always worried that I'm going to accidentally drop them onto the ground or something, so I try to be as careful as I can. And now they're ready for adventure. And while they are nice to watch on my windowsill, that's not really what the Porta-Pet was designed for. Its purpose is to take your sea monkeys outside of the house so that they can experience a brand new environment. The funny thing about sea monkeys is that in nature, they don't actually live in the sea. Instead, brine shrimp inhabit inland saline pools and lakes. But with the Porta-Pet, they can really go anywhere we want them to, which is why I decided to take these guys to the beach, so they could see the ocean for the very first time. So now they really are sea monkeys. Here's a quick look at them in the dark with the red light on too. I put a small piece of tin foil into the battery compartment to keep the light permanently illuminated, even when it's just sitting in its base. It's actually quite erotic watching them dance around in here, almost like a sexy sea monkey red light district. Anybody got some spare Cupid's arrow? So overall, while this whole kit is a little gimmicky, it slots perfectly into that sea monkey ethos of creating a novel and magical experience for children by giving them a new way to interact with their pets. As always, Exploratoy did a great job putting everything together here too. The packaging, artwork, toy design and colour choice have all come together really well to elevate this product into being something surprisingly fun to play with. It's a damn sight better than that companions rubbish too, but we'll explore that in more detail in a future video. Now, before we finish up today, there is of course one more thing for us to look at, and that's where all of this started with the original 1970s Porta-Pets. As far as I'm aware, there's not currently any footage online of these things in use, so I think it's about time we finally change that. I'm not going to risk taking these things to the beach, since I'm only borrowing them and they're made of glass, but we can still see them in action around my house. It only took 55 years, but these Porta-Pets have finally fulfilled their life's purpose. And don't the sea monkeys look great in there too? Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.